Zambian government bond auctions have continued to see an underperformance with regards to investor subscription for 3 consecutive months. However, over the last 2 months, there has been a notable shift in investor behavior. Right, my name is Nathan and welcome to the FinLab, and in today's video we analyze the results of the recent bond auction that was held 2 days ago on Thursday, and I'd appreciate if you follow and like for more insightful content. Now, it's not hard to miss the fact that Thursday's bond auction was massively undersubscribed. It was undersubscribed by over 26%. So the total amount that the government was looking to raise in the auction was 1.6 billion kwacha, but only received bids totaling to 1.18 billion kwacha from investors. And ultimately, the Bank of Zambia only awarded 1.17 billion kwacha to the successful bidders, therefore recording a shortfall of over 430 million kwacha. Right, so now this puts some pressure on the government with regards to raising funds, as the 2024 national budget is highly dependent on the government being able to raise funds via bond auctions, therefore putting them behind on the targeted funds that they projected to raise this year. Right, now let's track back for a moment here. Recently, the Bank of Zambia raised the statutory reserve ratio from 17% to 26%. So this increase in the statutory reserve ratio has constrained the liquidity available to some banks, or to most banks, potentially leading to a situation where they have less capacity to participate in the bond auctions, or may prioritize meeting the reserve requirements over investing in bonds, right? So as a result, the undersubscription in the bond auction could be partially attributed to the reduced liquidity in the banking system due to the higher reserve ratio requirement. However, just like last month and the month before, a closer look at the individual tenures reveals an interesting pattern. Right. So while the auction faced an undersubscription in general, there was notable high demand for the longer term bonds, indicating investor appetite, or a specific investor appetite for longer maturity periods. So here is how the individual bond tenures performed. The 2-year bond was undersubscribed by over 90%. The 3-year bond was undersubscribed by over 94%. The 5-year bond was undersubscribed by over 55%, and the 7-year bond was undersubscribed by over 11%. So this clearly shows that investors have very little appetite for shorter term bonds. Now coming to the longer term bonds, the 10-year bond was oversubscribed by 73%, right? The 15-year bond was oversubscribed by over 88%. So if you see the pattern here, as you move from the shorter term to the longer term bonds, investor appetite increases, clearly outlining the demand for longer term bonds. Now, your enemy in long-term investments is a rising inflation rate, right? So the strong demand for longer term bonds suggests that investors are optimistic about the economy's future performance, right? So are they right about the economy's future positive economic outlook? Well, we can only wait and see. But for today, that's it from me. This is thanks and goodbye.